You're listening to Mindset, Metabolism, and Movement, where we help you achieve a realistic and human approach to health and fitness by working with your body, not against it. My name is Jenna Altman, and my mission is to help you, the active woman, feel confident in your ability to make choices that allow you to take control of your own mental and physical health. I'm excited to dive into today's episode because we are going to be chatting about how you can navigate the holiday season with confidence. I know that the holidays can be extremely challenging for a lot of us, but your healthy lifestyle is one that should not need breaks, but one that you can continue to commit to even during the busiest of seasons. You might be wondering, how do I make sure I stick to my workout routine while I'm traveling? Is it even worth it when I'll be tempted by all the food around me? Or maybe you're even considering just giving up for now and starting your goals again in 2023. That's why I created this episode, because I wanted you to have a 3-step, 3 micro habit framework for you to integrate into your life, especially during the busy holiday season. Let's dive in. The holiday season. This used to be such an incredibly challenging time for me in terms of my health and fitness. I used to go in with this sort of like mental headspace that I had to be prepared. And what I mean by that is that I had to be really healthy before I went into the holiday season because I knew that it was going to be a challenge for me, right? There were all these different tempting foods. There was going to just be more overeating in general, maybe some less exercise because I would be traveling for the holidays. And it was just such an uncomfortable place for me. And I honestly just didn't trust myself. And I feel like maybe you might be feeling similar feelings, right? This is why you're listening to this episode, because you want to go into the holiday season with confidence. And I want to tell you that you are absolutely capable of doing this. And I think that we sometimes overcomplicate things, as always, as humans. That's our natural tendency. And we feel like we need to be perfect, and we feel like we can't have any of these foods, or we have to say no to the pumpkin pie. We have to say no to sweet potato casserole, right? We have to say no to all of these things, when in reality, if we can just meet ourselves where we're at and incorporate some of that on a balanced level, then we can actually enjoy our holiday. And that's when things started to click for me. And so though this season is very chaotic, and I know that you have a lot going on, I want you to enter the holiday season with some things, a few things. We're going to go through a 3-step framework that you can implement on a daily basis, okay? These are what I call micro habits. They are really small habits that are really easy to integrate into your day, and they will take you less than probably 15 minutes total, okay? So we are going to base this framework off of our M3 method, which is our one-on-one coaching program and the methodology that we use with our one-on-one coaching clients. And this is mindset, metabolism, and movement. So for the mindset piece, every day, I want you to journal one thing that you're grateful for. You can make a whole list if you want to. And I know gratitude is very popular. It's November. Everyone's talking about it. But there is so much power in stepping into your own little head and writing down something or some things that you are grateful for. Okay. This is going to really help you reset your mindset. It's going to bring you back to, okay, what is a positive thing in my life right now, right? Because our negativity bias is so strong in our brains. And that basically means that our brains favor negative thoughts, right? We have tons of negative thoughts, and we're always looking at those. So in this holiday season, especially when things can be challenging, I understand that being around family is not easy for everybody, right? Or maybe you're dealing with missing loved ones. This season might not be the happiest season for you. And this is even more of a reason why you should integrate gratitude at this time. I know for me that when I'm traveling and I'm out of my sorts and I'm in other people's spaces and I'm with other people, especially family, I can feel really overwhelmed, right? I'm a highly sensitive person, which means that environments are extremely overwhelming to me if not in the right context. And so one thing that I always do when I'm traveling is make sure that I have that dedicated minute to myself to at least write something that I'm grateful for. Sometimes I have a longer journaling session. It just depends. But I want you to integrate that because I know for me how much that helps me recenter and ground myself despite all the other things going on in the house or at the holidays, right? So that's the first thing. Second thing that I want you to do, and this is going to tune into our metabolism, and I'll explain why, is going to be paying attention to your hunger cues for at least one meal a day. And I want you to rank them on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 being, I am starving, I am not going to make it. And 1 being, I am so stuffed, I can't move. And I want you to just evaluate this. I want you to see what comes up for you. I want you to pay attention to your eating behaviors and your eating habits, because this is going to create more awareness for you, which will be really useful when you sit down for those holiday meals. Because if you sit down before Thanksgiving dinner and you evaluate, oh, I am actually feeling like maybe like a 3 out of 5, like I'm not starving. When you go into the meal like that, then guess what? You have the knowledge now that your body doesn't need as much food, and you can regulate your own body needs. And so tuning into our hunger cues, although it takes time and it can be challenging, I want you to start practicing today when you listen to this episode in preparation for holiday meals. And just in general, it's a really good thing to be doing in general. But what you'll probably discover is this concept that you might not have hunger cues, right? That might be present. You might realize like, oh, I don't really sense anything here. Or you might be hungry all the time. And those are 2 indicators that you might not be eating enough, but I'm not going to dive into that because we've had plenty of episodes on that already. But another thing that you can tune into in terms of the hunger cues is going to be this concept of going into meals. You don't want to go into a meal starving. You don't want to go into a meal at a 5, right? Because if we go in at a 5, then we have no sort of regulation as to what it would be like, because we're so hungry that we cannot focus on anything else, right? You've probably experienced this when you're really ravenous. You get home from work, you are starving, you skipped lunch, and then you go right to the cabinet and you overeat and overindulge because you were so hungry and you got lost in this vortex of just like starving and I don't know what to do. And so when we can regulate our hunger cues and feed and fuel our bodies before we're at that level, then we have a clear picture as to how our body is actually feeling. Instead of being slighted by, I am starving 24/7, now you have this idea of what it feels like to be satisfied and full. And that's the goal that we're going to shoot for when we're paying attention to our hunger cues. You don't want to leave that meal feeling like a 1 either, right? Because that's really uncomfortable. You don't be so full that we're stuffed and can't move. But maybe we end on a 2 or a 3, right? You can always go back for more. There is always more to be had. So don't worry about that. The last component of this, and something that is going to be really accessible for you, is movement. And now I'm not saying that you have to get a workout in. If you get a workout in over the holidays, great. If you choose to work out, if you find a gym while you're traveling, if you're staying home for the holidays and you're still able to make the gym, excellent. This is going to be something I want you to add on top of that, or to substitute if you can't access a gym. Walking, my friends, so extremely beneficial for your body and your mind. So for this, I want you to add 1,000 extra steps to your day. So if you're not tracking your steps and you have no idea what I'm talking about, or have no idea how many steps you're getting, this would roughly be like an extra 5 to 10 minutes of a walk, okay? If possible, I would encourage you to do them after meals. That's just going to help with your digestion overall. Great for after eating a filling meal like Thanksgiving and being able to get up and move around. Like, yes, your body needs that. But this is really accessible. So again, if you're traveling, you can encourage other people to come and walk 5 minutes with you, right? If you want to be with your family, you don't want to leave, you don't want to be like a black sheep and be off by yourself, invite them in and encourage them to come with you on this walk. And again, this is something that is so easy, honestly, to integrate. And you don't have to feel bad about not getting a workout in, because you're still choosing to move your body on a daily basis. And that's what this is teaching you, right? Remember, these are all things you're doing on a daily basis. And so just to recap really quick, we're going to go through our 3 micro habits through our 3-step framework. And then I'm going to share with you how you can actually plan ahead, because there will be obstacles, but I want to make sure that you're prepared. So mindset, we're going to journal one thing that you're grateful for every day. Metabolism, tune into your hunger cues at least 1 meal a day. Rate them on a scale of 1 to 5. Movement, add 1,000 steps or 5 to 10 minutes for a walk. So I know what you're already thinking. You're probably getting a little antsy. You're probably feeling a little bit preoccupied. I know that I would have if I listened to this episode 5 years ago. And If you're like me, you probably like planning ahead. So we are going to utilize this to our advantage. And I'm going to ask you a couple questions and I want you to really think and reflect and see what comes up for you. But what needs to happen in order for you to successfully complete these micro habits over your holiday season? What needs to happen, right? Make a plan. Go into this with confidence because you thought about it and you planned ahead of time. Granted, there will be things that will throw your plan off, and that is okay. But at least you went in with an approach that felt good for you. What obstacles do you see getting in your way? There are always going to be curveballs. That is part of life. It is not always going to be easy to integrate the movement. You might forget to do your hunger cues, right? What obstacles might you encounter and how can we plan for those? This is where we love to use a strategy with our clients called if-then planning, also known as implementation planning. And this is where you actually sit down and you identify what challenges that you are going to encounter. And so you take that challenge and you decide, okay, if this happens, then I will. So now you're choosing to rewrite the script. You're choosing a new action to put in place instead of your normal behavior, right? Especially if this is something that you reoccurringly struggle with, right? So if I get up for seconds, I will take a deep breath and rate my hunger. Okay, that's a perfect one. So if I get up for seconds, then I will take a deep breath and rate my hunger cues. Okay, because that's going to inform me as to how much more space I have for food, right? You might realize, actually, I'm not even that hungry. I'm just getting up because the food's here. And again, there will always be leftovers. You do not have to eat it all on the same day, right? It's just one meal. It's a regular meal. Treat it like that. I know that there's all these fun foods that you have and all these things you haven't had in a year, but you can still have those foods tomorrow and the next day and the day after that, right? And it's so much better too when you space it out because you get to really savor it and enjoy it as opposed to feeling really stuffed and feeling bad about it. All right. So to put this all into practice, I wanted to give you guys something tangible that you can utilize. And so I made a little progress tracker and you will be able to download this. It's going to be in the show notes and it has all 3 of the habits already put in there for you and all of the days. And you'll literally just check off the days. I have one set up for November, December, and then I have a blank one if this is something that you would like to continue in terms of your habit progress. You can download this at bit.ly/holiday-confidence. And again, it will be in the show notes. I would love for you to take a picture, tag me on Instagram at Jenna Ray Altman, and just share your progress with me. Share your habits with your family. Maybe you can get them integrated. Maybe you have kids. Maybe they can do these things with you too. Make it a fun holiday challenge. So that way you can move through the holidays with confidence because trust me, my friends, it is so possible. You just have to set yourself up for success. And hopefully this episode will help you do so.